Welcome to episode 7 of Sports and Bullshit. I'm Dan Perozzi, obviously, the 40 of you that are listening right now. This is my post-Super Bowl show. Obviously, this is the first podcast after Super Bowl 48, was it?
Yeah.
And I have Taylor Majka. I have a diehard Denver Broncos fan, Taylor Majka, sitting in with me today. Give me his feelings on the game, his feelings on life in the aftermath. Let me just give you guys an idea here. Our friend Josh had a party for the Super Bowl. Casual, probably like 10, 15 of us maybe.
Sure, yeah.
And Micah's decked out. And whose jersey were you wearing?
I'm rocking fucking Shannon Sharp from 1997.
Okay, Shannon Sharp.
Shit.
A Shannon Sharp jersey. And he's wearing his Broncos hat. He's looking confident. He's having a good time. I brought Taco Bell. He was really excited about Taco Bell.
Like shit after.
And so, game starts out. What happened when the game started out?
It wasn't good.
It was
fucking bullshit.
No, it wasn't. It was the safety.
That's what I'm getting at.
It was bullshit for you. So the whole game, just to give you an idea, everyone saw how the game went. It progressed. It got more horrible for the Broncos, even better for the Seahawks. Honestly, at no point, halfway through the first quarter, I was like, this game's over. It really felt that way because the Seahawks looked fresh, they looked fast, they looked confident. And to me, the Broncos looked like they were afraid to make a mistake. After that opening turnover, they were just playing so tight, worried about making a mistake, and it led to more mistakes. Well, I don't know.
I don't think it was more or less Denver making mistakes. It was more or less they're playing into Seattle's hands. Seattle's known for playing hard-nosed defense. Like, you got to give them credit where credit's due.
Oh, absolutely. I was going to get to that.
Yeah.
But the things I saw in that opening snap, I just thought that Denver didn't play loose. And to Pete Carroll's credit, the Seahawks, they were so loose, they were confident, they looked so much faster. The speed difference there was apparent because the Broncos, they like running those screens to Demaryius Thomas and Wes Welker.
They couldn't get it off.
They couldn't get to it. So I'm going to start out, final score was 43-8 Seattle, just to remind you, Taylor.
Thanks. The fucking 2-minute video you left on my phone.
I recorded a lot of videos of his reactions throughout the night. But 43-8, I was absolutely wrong in my prediction. I thought Denver had this one pretty well in hand. The one thing I will say is that the way I thought the Seattle had to play to win is what happened. I said that they had to pressure Peyton Manning. They ended up with 8 pressures on him and 4 QB hits and 1 sack. Now, in the previous 2 playoff games against the Patriots and the Chargers, they only had 1 pressure on Peyton Manning. So that's huge. They got to him 8 times. They were in his face. They made him uncomfortable, which I said they had to do. I don't think Peyton got into a groove the whole game because of that disgusting Seattle defense.
It's just out of control. Like I said, they played right into Seattle's hand, and literally all it was Cliff Averill, Michael Bennett, their DNs just setting the edge and just getting to Peyton Manning.
Exactly.
Because, and I forget what interview it was and who they interviewed, but again, we've seen it for as long as Peyton Manning's been in the league. He gets happy feet at the slightest instance of pressure, and he'll get
and
crazy.
If you get him pressured once, that's one thing, but consistently, it doesn't have to be one play and you sack him, but you want to get in his face 4 or 5 out of 8 plays,
and that's what happened. That's why I think Cliff Averill made a.
I thought he deserved MVP over Malcolm Smith.
Malcolm Smith made one play because Cliff Averill
the pressure
forced
so, and that was the other thing that I said needs to happen for Seattle. They have to pressure. They have to create turnovers, and they created 4 turnovers. They had the 2 interceptions. The one, it was on the pressure by Cliff Averill, like you said, was great read by Malcolm Smith, jumping the ball and taking off. No one was near him. There wasn't so much an instinctful play, but nonetheless, it was a big difference-making play. Other things I said, Percy Harvin was the huge X factor. Not so much in the receiving game. He only had 1 reception, but the first play of the game for Seattle on their first offensive drive, they go an end around with him. They used him in ways that were creative, and they moved him around. They didn't go with their usual game plan. I said that Seattle needs to use the pass to set up the run. They can't come out with their typical pound the ball, pound the ball, pound the ball. And the Broncos did contain Marshawn Lynch very well, but they were exposed in other areas. They couldn't pressure Russell Wilson, which everyone had been. And that was because that Russell Wilson and Baldwin and Curse, they were really getting open in separation on the safeties and linebackers. So that opening kickoff was the dagger. You know, if you thought they had last year's Super Bowl was 23-6 at halftime, I think
23-6, yeah.
23-6 Baltimore, and then San Francisco came back. But you really didn't feel that with this game. You didn't. I didn't, at least. I mean, you as a fan, you have to be confident. You have to be optimistic. But I was admittedly rooting for Peyton Manning as a Peyton Manning fan, and I was like, this is over. I felt that no chance they were back in it.
To be completely honest, as soon as Malcolm Smith ran that interception back for a touchdown, that was before the half, and me personally, me being a fan my entire life, sat there and said to myself,
No, you didn't sit there. You didn't sit there. That pick six happened. You slammed your fucking hat down, went upstairs, and you started your car because you were about to leave.
I was about to I chain smoked like 4 bogeys.
Yeah, so he was pretty bummed.
Dude, I was fucking pissed.
So, like I said, that kick return. One of the other things I said was Seattle, their kick game would be huge because Denver did have the worst kickoff coverage in the NFL this season, and bam, there it is. They were trying to pooch kick it, and they covered everyone to the right on a pooch kick as opposed to containing around the outside.
That's the funny thing. That's the funny thing to me. How you gonna kick away from Percy Harvin and you don't kick away from Percy Harvin?
Yeah, you kick away and you don't kick away. I'd rather take the penalty than that because. Yeah. When you have a big special teams play, especially in a game that is relatively close, or it's you really can't mess up anymore, a big special teams play completely swings the direction of a game, 100%. And that's what happened here. So that was huge. I mean, the other thing Seattle's defense did incredibly was they held Denver to 27 rushing yards. None of them could get in a groove. Moreno, Ball, they had nothing going. They didn't get their first down until like almost the second quarter was over.
Yeah, what was it? Seattle had 11 first downs by the time Denver had their first down.
So, the other things I really want to point out were the huge games by the safety tandem, Cam Chancellor and Earl Thomas. They were phenomenal the whole game. The one play that sticks out to me was on Denver's first drive after the safety was the hit that Earl Thomas put on Demaryius Thomas. He came out of nowhere and just housed him and stopped him for a first down. That really set the pace for the way Seattle's defense was going to play Denver's offense.
It was a testament to old school football. You come across the middle, you're going to get punished.
Exactly, and we'll take a penalty if we have to, but you're going to remember, you're going to be careful coming acrough the middle from now on.
Which, and in all honesty, again, talking as a football fan, not just a Denver fan, but a football fan, that's something you want to see put back in the game. You want some toughness. You want receivers scared to go up for these balls coming across the middle because they might get their head chopped off.
Yeah, they might get popped. At worst, just get the wind knocked out of them to the point where they need to sit out a play. You don't see that as much. And that's what I love about Seattle's defense. The fact that they know if we get penalized, so what? It's gonna change the course of the game because they play a lot of psychological defense with the trash talking, but their style of play as well. They're smash mouth, they're gritty. They don't care about what the refs if they're gonna throw them a 10-15 yard penalty.
I say, and here's the thing: they're not out to hurt you. They're out to make an impact. They're not like the Deshaun Goldstons. They're not like the Brandon Merriweathers.
Dante Whitner.
Guys are straight up headhunting.
Yeah,
like they're here to put a big hit on you and jar the ball loose. That's what a safety is supposed to do.
Exactly, and these two specifically, they are the best sideline. Earl Thomas, but Cam Chancellor is awesome as well. They play almost like linebackers in a lot of cases because they play sideline to sideline so well, and it gives a guy like Richard Sherman, who's already the best corner in the league, even more room to experiment and get creative, and not experiment like you did in college, but experiment with his style of play. No, so huge game by the safeties, huge game by the defensive line of Seattle. Nothing went well for Denver. I think it's really unfair to put it entirely on Peyton Manning. When your team, 43 points and 7 of them are on a kick return, and your defense can't, they're getting burned on play action when they're not running the ball. Seattle was so smart in their offensive game plan because they didn't come out and try to do the same things over and over again.
And I just want to say, because I've heard it from a couple people since the absolute devastating loss, seriously fucking devastating, that even if Chris Harris or Von Miller were in this game,
they wouldn't have won.
They still wouldn't have won. It wouldn't have made a difference. I mean, granted, there wouldn't have been a Champ Bailey wouldn't have got burned on one play. Maybe Von Miller gets to Russell Wilson once or twice.
And even when I know that play you're talking about where Champ Bailey got burnt, that I can't even blame that so much on him because of the way the play was designed. They bunched on one side, and the guy was coming around.
It was a wheel route that deserved.
It was a cover 2 wheel route.
Exactly.
No, I don't care who you are, you're not covering that. So the other thing, Demaryius Thomas, he set the record for most receptions in Super Bowl history.
What I want to say, if you look at stats, by stats alone, not even looking at the score, you look at stats, Demaryius Thomas sets a Super Bowl reception record.
And he had a negative grade from Pro Football Focus. And why? That goddamn fumble. And how many times was he about to run for a first down? And he's zigzagging.
How many times?
Is he Barry Sanders?
How many times did I scream throughout the course of that game? He catches a 5-yard cross, and he starts running towards the sideline.
Yeah, he was
trying. You're 6 foot.
He was trying to break out plays. He was trying to do what has worked for him well so season. And Denver's coaching staff deserves a lot of flack for this, that they should have said, don't try getting crazy with this defense, because Seattle's defense's closing speed is phenomenal.
It's disgusting. Their linebackers to their secondary, even their linemen are like 4-4.
So he sets the record for most receptions, but he had a horrible fumble when, in retrospect, was it still a game? If he scores a touchdown there on that drive, you still have a chance. It changes the way the teams play a little bit. But as that score piles up, the Seattle defense, they can pin their ears back and just rush the passer. They don't need to worry about the run as much.
Exactly.
It changes the way your offense can play, because now Russell Wilson doesn't need to worry about as much making a mistake. As that game went on, you saw, as I said, I thought Denver was very tight to start out, and they got tighter and tighter because Seattle was just in their face and the score was piling up, and it led them to make more mistakes.
You also saw a lot of frustration coming out, even though there was 5 minutes left to go in the game. Julius Thomas catches a pass over the middle and gets right in Cam Chancellor's face. The frustration was, not only felt by every single Denver fan on the face of the planet, but the players, and the best offense statistically ever in NFL history, and then they're going to be held to 8 points.
And you know what? That's bad. And I think that gives Seattle. You got to give them some. Go ahead.
And then one more thing is that you, again, looking at stats just alone without even looking at score, you're honestly gonna sit there and look, say Peyton Manning's gonna set a Super Bowl completion record with 34 completions and then not win.
I know.
Peyton Manning led team.
And you look his, but the other things you look at, his yards per completion weren't that great, because they were. And I'm not a big John Fox fan. I'm not a big Pete Carroll fan, but one thing Pete Carroll's players are never going to be are very tight headed into a game, and his guys are always loose and fresh, and they're confident. His credit, he's very competitive, and he's not going to settle for shit like you saw on Sunday, because that was the worst Super Bowl performance ever.
And you know what? Yeah, fuck it.
No, it was. I mean,
also,
especially for a favorite. They weren't the underdog.
No, I mean, granted, it was only a 3-point favorite, but 3 points is 3 points. At the end of the day, don't matter if you win by 7 or 3 points.
I don't care who was picking who in this game. No one thought it was going to turn out that way either way.
No shot.
And one of the things that I need to give some respect to is a lot of people were saying how inferior the AFC is to the NFC, and it's true. The top teams in the AFC, it's Denver, and then
and then New England.
And New England isn't even that good.
New England's defense has always been suspect.
New England is Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, and they're the best coach in the league and one of the best quarterbacks in the league. But outside of that,
if you look at the NFC again, going right, like you got Carolina on the rise. You got New Orleans making a resurgence with Rob Ryan's defense.
Seattle, San Francisco,
Philly. You're looking at 5 teams.
And I want to talk about those 4 teams at the top there specifically, what they did this season. New Orleans, Seattle, San Francisco, and Carolina. They were very physical. They were very tough, and they had very nasty defenses.
It's awesome.
And that's the difference. You look at the AFC, they have very finesse-style teams. Even Denver, they had the highest scoring offense. A lot of it was just very well-designed play by the best quarterback in the NFL.
But again, you get in their face, and you get one lick on them.
That's how finesse...
That's how it always
power
works.
Defense will almost always beat the finesse offense. I just didn't think that the gap in competition was that. I mean, it could have just been, it could have been one game where it happened. I think if they play each other 10 times, it doesn't happen 10 times. But Seattle very well could have won 9 times out of 10. The way I saw that, it was pretty clear who the better team was. And if you go back and watch the NFC Championship, the style of play was so much more physical. When you watch San Francisco and Seattle, it was such a tougher, grind-out game.
That was a fun game to watch, because if you look at it again, you're looking at Colin Kaepernick, who could barely, at that point, we didn't know if he was that kind of quarterback.
Yeah.
Turned out that these 2 teams are here to stay. No matter how old Frank Gore gets, no matter how
he still churns it out.
It's going to be. I'm really excited to see how the AFC could possibly respond with better, now that they know the top 4 teams in the NFC are really, really, really the best teams in the NFL. I want to see how Denver's going to respond with their defense, and then how anyone in the AFC is going to some way compete with these guys.
Now, this is something I'm, we pretty much got everything out of the way, obviously, as far as the Super Bowl
Fuck
goes.
the Seahawks.
Listen, I would feel the same way right now, but they had a hell of a season. They're bringing football back the way I like to watch football. Marshall Lynch had the touchdown in the game, but then Curse and Baldwin both had touchdowns. Curse is one. He bounced off 3 defenders.
Fucking guys can't tackle.
I know, and that was very surprising as well. They were they were such a they weren't a great defense all year, but they were very fundamental, and specifically in open field tackles, and there they were just they was like pinball. He was bouncing off them. Now that we're pretty much everything's out of the way, congrats again to the Seahawks. Personally, for me, I was wrong. Now what I'm going to do as next NFL season comes up, what would you like to see from your Denver Broncos in the offseason? But I'm only going to give you 3 things specifically. Give me 3 things.
Give you 3 things?
3 things.
Okay, 3 things. Definitely got to fix that defense, specifically that secondary, and even more specifically the safety position. Dookie Anancho had a real nice season. Literally no one knew who Dookie Anancho was coming into the season. And he made a name for himself.
What's his first name?
Dookie. Duke Ian Nacho.
Oh, okay.
Name. You fucking
Dookie and Nacho. Okay,
yes.
Go on.
Shut up. So again, he established himself as a hard-hitting safety. Just didn't play his best game in the Super Bowl. Like everyone else in the Broncos.
You're definitely saying get some cornerbacks and probably another pass rusher.
Definitely another pass rusher. Like I can't even. The only person I can honestly think of that would be worth getting in the first round as far as defense is Jadeveon Clowney. But
you're not going
to sacrifice
unless you trade it. But in theory, what you could do is you wanted to trade some of your players that are getting paid a bit more. If you could trade up, clear your cap room, trade him, and then have a better chance of re-signing Eric Decker.
It fills up for me. Sign and trade Eric Decker. Bye Wes Welker.
So you say defense. What else do you want to see?
I want to see a pure established running game, because we all know Noshawn Moreno's going to walk, not because he wants to, but because it's a cap casualty.
He wasn't an Elway and Fox guy to begin with. He happened to have a good year,
and he played his way onto the active roster this season. And I give a lot. I fucking hated that guy since the day he was drafted.
He had over 10 total touchdowns, so he wasn't part of the problem, but he's not part of the solution.
He's not exactly. He's not the long-term solution.
Exactly.
At running back.
Especially, frankly, Peyton Manning offenses, they're running it. He's a finesse back. He's very quick.
Yeah.
They've always gone with the more power style. Edwin James, Joseph Adai, Donald Brown.
And which is why I really like Monte Ball.
That's why you like Monte Ball. Okay, so in that case, what I would say is, what I would say for you, the third one would be repairing. The offensive line wasn't bad this year, but I think they need to
bolster it.
They need to bolster it.
I mean,
especially protecting Peyton.
I mean, it also didn't help that Ryan Clady was out the entire season.
Well, that's going to be, you're going to get him back.
Look at it, you're going to get him on the blind side. You got to go pick up, because we have an unrestricted free agent at left guard in Zane Beatles, who we might get back.
And Luis Vasquez was only a 1-year deal as well.
1-year deal. So those 2 guys you absolutely have to re-sign, not to mention bolster the right tackle.
As far as regarding your defense, again, re-sign Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. That's key. He had a very, very good year. He was a top 10 corner in the league.
Yeah, and I was speaking literally out of emotion when I said, "Fine, you want to retire? Fucking retire."
I know he literally said that after. I don't even think it was his fault on the play, and he just goes, "Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, you want to retire? Fucking retire." He was telling Peyton Manning to retire.
I status updated.
He was telling everyone to quit and retire. So he was very emotional. He's still emotional.
At the time, I said, "Cut the entire fucking defense."
So, so that's where he sees it. Like I said, as the season progresses and we get closer to the NBA season or the NFL season, I'll talk about what I want the Dolphins to do, who Josh wants the Falcons to do. I'll get Giants fan. Maybe I'll even get a Jets fan in here.
And we'll get Justin in here.
Yeah, we'll get a Cowboys fan in here. That'll be really good.
Yeah.
So now that that's out of the way, I went to UFC 169 over the weekend.
That's a real nice story.
It was really cool. I was in Newark. That wasn't cool. So we actually saw
never cool.
We saw a ton of prostitutes, which was really cool.
That's what happens.
I'm pretty sure one was a dude, so that scared me.
You ever been to a Devils game?
This was 100 times worse because you had Super Bowl crowd in.
That sucked ass.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. But I was lucky enough to get tickets. We stayed at the hotel where the fighters were. I ended up partying with them. Anthony Hardonk was one of the coolest dudes. He leg kicked me, and I just walked
hard on.
You saw I was limping at Josh's a little bit.
That was pretty bad.
He kicked me at like 30%. This dude is like 6'4", 260, and it hurt like hell. Go kick me at 30%.
Now it's like when you kicked me in the dick at 100%.
I did. I kicked at our old employer the one time. My old employer. He was standing up against the register, and I full on Jose Aldo kicked him in the dick, and he fell down, and his pants fell down. He's laying on the ground with like his ass out, holding his nuts.
Dude, I'm telling you, toe to balls.
It was it was like more shin to balls.
Oh shit! Regardless, it fucking hurt.
I felt sack on my shin. So the main event was Renan Barão beating Uriah Faber. It was a rematch. Faber looked in control from the beginning. It was never in question. The finish was questionable. I had no issue with the stoppage because Uriah almost got knocked out like 3 times prior to the actual stoppage, and he definitely wasn't out or anything, but he wasn't getting back in the fight. So Barão has now won, I think, 22 straight. I think he's won like 33 straight if you don't count his no contest. So he's definitely in that top 3 of pound for pound fighters. I mean, when you hear about a guy winning that many fights in a row, he's definitely one of the pound for pound fighters in the world. Co-main event was Jose Aldo dominating Ricardo Lamas. You know, it wasn't the most exciting fight. It wasn't a bad fight by any means. To tell you the truth, I saw both of them at the hotel after, Aldo and Lamas. And Aldo was limping better than Lamas was because Lamas, the leg kicks didn't really seem to faze him, even though Aldo landed tons of them. But Lamas, he didn't have anything until the 5th round when Aldo looked like he started the gas again. But once again, Aldo puts forward a dominant performance. Could have done a little bit more to finish, I think. But there was no question and doubt about who was winning that fight. You know, Lamas spent too much time doing like crazy spinning kicks and everything. And you know, Aldo, like I said, he's one of the best. He is the best pound for pound fighter in the world in my eyes. Now the third fight was Alistair Overeem against Frank Mir. No one likes Frank Mir to begin with.
No one likes fucking Alistair Overeem.
No, I love that. Reem is my dude, man. I love Alistair Overeem.
What happened the one time when I'm like, okay, I pick Alistair Overeem over fucking Bigfoot.
Oh, well, I just told you who was going to win.
Yeah, no, it's bullshit. And then what happened? You sent me a picture of your fucking asshole.
The bet was, I said that Bigfoot Silva was going to beat Alistair Overeem, and you said no otherwise. So I told him, I was like, when Bigfoot wins, I'm going to send you a picture of my asshole. He must have thought I was bluffing.
Wait, now you see, not only did he send me a picture of his asshole, then I fucking paid him $10.
He did. He paid me $10 after. I think
I have to be 0-7-1 against you in UFC.
And that
bets.
one was that.
So it was a great man, Frankie Edgar.
Frankie Edgar, their second fight. Yeah, so I did literally send him a picture of my open ass after that happened.
It's fucked up.
So Overeem dominated Frank Mir. He could have done more to finish. He didn't really take any risks. He even admitted that he played it safe because he knew his back was against the wall. He was coming off back-to-back losses. But here's a fun stat for you from that fight. Sure. How dominant Alistair Overeem was. He outstruck Frank Mir 139-5. Frank Mir landed 5 strikes. Frank Mir is ass. I wish he ended his life when he crashed his motorcycle. But one of the other things, Alistair Overeem, he called out Brock Lesnar again after the fight because he heard that Lesnar might be coming back. Dude. But listen, everyone was like, why is he calling out a wrestler? I saw Alistair Overeem.
He was the UFC fucking champion.
I saw Alistair. Well, Reem beat him once already. Reem retired him. Yeah. We saw Reem at the hotel after, and he straight up said to the people around us, "I just wanted to get my name in headlines," because he knew people would talk about it if that was the case, and that's smart. He's promoting himself because the UFC does such a bad job promoting these guys now.
Fuck you, Dana White.
Yeah, that's right. So I like that. It was a lot of decisions on the card. It was the most ever on a UFC ever. The 10 out of the 12 fights went to decision. The one fight that was a knockout was if you get a chance, you go home watch this fight. Jamie Varner and Abel Trujillo, one of the most crazy.
How the fuck do you spell that?
Abel?
No.
Oh, it was one of the craziest back and forth fights I've ever seen. Jamie took the fight on short notice, and he was whooping on Abel in the second round, and they were just winging bombs back and forth. You just thought it was a matter of time before Varner put him away, and then Abel landed one punch that put Varner out cold. It was insane fight of the night and knockout of the night. Guy Abel ended up with $125,000 in bonuses alone. So it was a good time. Had a good time at the hotel. I would have been mad if I paid anything for the tickets with that many decisions. Wasn't the worst fights I've seen, but none really stood out besides that Varner fight. So next, we'll talk a little bit about the NBA. Me and you were both Brooklyn Nets fans. Excuse me.
What? New Jersey?
They're actually playing tonight. They're playing the Spurs, and thank God we got no Tim Duncan, no Tony Parker, no Manu Ginobili.
So the only 3 people that give a fuck about they got Kawhi Leonard. They're still fucked.
We're probably gonna lose anyway. But no, we have been playing better. We won the other night, beat the Philadelphia 76ers.
We had a really good January.
Jason Kidd won Coach of the Month. He did a much better job coaching. I was very impressed with his changes. Especially the big thing was when Lawrence Frank left, and I liked Lawrence Frank. I loved him back when he was our coach, when he was a New Jersey Nets coach.
I fucking hated that guy.
But you could tell he was trying to take over coaching duties for him, and he wasn't crazy about it, and it obviously affected his coaching. Kid has been learning on the job, and I've been actually pretty impressed with the little changes. I want to see Darren Williams finally play at that consistent level that we expected. It's his ankles. Certain games he looks so good.
It reminds me a lot of Miles Austin with the hamstrings. Miles Austin has so much potential to be such a great wide receiver, but he's just a hamstring. Same thing with Darren Williams. He's such a good point guard, and he just can't fucking stay healthy.
But how funny is it? Our top player besides Darren Williams is Brook Lopez. The team started playing better.
Fucking Joe Johnson. What are you saying?
No, our second highest paid player. Highest paid. And I when Brook Lopez went down, I'm like, oh, it's done. But what they did when that happened was they moved KG to the center from the power forward, and because power forward is as much defense, but you want to finish around the rim well. And at his age, KG hasn't been doing that, but he's playing awesome defense because that's what he does. I heard this awful joke. I wish Duncan was playing tonight actually, because apparently years ago when
he called him an AIDS patient.
No, this is that he called Charlie Vanilla a cancer patient.
That's what it was. This
was Tim Duncan. Apparently on a Mother's Day game, he said to Tim Duncan, "Happy Mother's Day," and Duncan's mom died like 10 years ago. Duncan's like the nicest guy in the league. That's awful.
That was almost like, remember when he got thrown at by that Joey Crawford guy?
Yeah.
It just looks at him and goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. You want to say it again? Fuck out of here."
When he said to Carmelo Anthony last year, his wife tastes like Honey Nut Cheerios.
Kevin Garnett goes down as probably the best trash talker I've ever heard, besides Reggie Miller. And honestly, the funniest fucking dude in the world.
But he says, Happy Mother's Day. That's not even funny. That's awful.
Dude, that's fucking funny.
It is funny. But the Nets, I think right now they're the 6th seed.
It's not bad in the shittiest Eastern Conference, except for the fucking Pacers and the Heat.
The Pacers and the Heat, and the Knicks are 11 games under 500.
Carmelo's walking.
Carmelo, I think he's going to walk. He's not even having a bad year. He's playing his ass off every night. I get on Melo a lot, but he's playing his ass off every night. It's not his fault that J.R. Smith is an idiot and Tyson Chandler is getting paid to do nothing anymore. They have horrible point guard play between Felton and Prigioni. I think it's pretty clear, although they have the better record, the Pacers. I think the Heat, there's no way they're not in the finals again, because the thing that they've done this the last 2-3 years, they coast, and then they get to the playoffs. They just
fucking turn it on.
Durant has been unreal this year.
That's
the West.
That doesn't matter though. That's the Oklahoma City Thunder, like with Russell Westbrook back, like viable options.
But they've been playing great even without him. So, but I think it's pretty clear. I mean, the Nets have beaten the Heat twice so far this year, that's awesome. But the Knicks beat them like 3 times last year, and it didn't mean anything. Yeah, so the goal for the Nets to me is they got to get to at least the 6th seed. I still think they're going to win the Atlantic because Toronto's interested in trading their best player because they know they're going to get bounced first round. They're going to trade Kyle Lowry, which I don't think is smart when they're first place in the Atlantic right now. We're only a game behind them. So I think the Nets will end up winning the Atlantic, which will put them at least the 6th seed. Ultimately, the East is so bad, they could realistically get to the 3rd or 4th seed and get home court, it depends on who they play. Last year, they had home court and they lost to the Bulls in Game 7.
Yeah.
So
fucking Nate Robinson and the Bulls. Not even fucking Derrick Rose.
I know. So we'll see how that goes. I like the way the Nets have been playing. For all I know, the game's on right now with the Spurs and losing by 50 in the first.
I'll tell you, just to say before we move on, then if not this year, I'm saying next year is the make or break year for the Nets, honestly, with all this money they've spent, all these players they went out and got. It's really make or break next year. And if honestly, and again, I'm a guy who drastically does things. If Darren Williams isn't still viably healthy at this point in time next year, you got to cut
some
your losses.
Some team would take his contract just on the hope that he's going to stay healthy.
Oh, absolutely. But you got to sit there as like, what the fuck, Gorbachev, the fucking guy.
Mikhail Prokhorov.
Gorbachev, fucking, you just have to sit there and think to yourself, do I have to cut my losses?
Exactly. So
that's what I would do. Anyway.
And luckily we have an owner that will spend over the cap and spend money.
Shit.
And someone would take a contract on like Brook or KG or Pierce to clear up a little more cap room. So,
and get someone.
The next thing, I still got baseball season a few months away. I don't have anything to look forward to. I'm a Mets fan. What do I have to look forward to? I have the end of the season to look forward to and hope it'll be better the season after.
You have the off season and the off chance that you sign someone like Jason Bay again.
Oh, fuck Jason. Oh, fuck that guy, dude.
Spiral cut hot dogs?
Oh, no, fuck them too. And I'm not confident in the Mets this year, but I think they're going to play tough and competitive because I like a lot of the moves they made, and I think they have a couple more coming, whether it is Steven Drew or Nelson Cruz. No one's paying these players. They're good players. I'll take them. And hopefully the owners will open up a little bit more. Give me Drew, because Ruben Tejada fucking pisses me off, and I'd smack him in his face in front of his father. So now that that's out of the way, I want to get to the Q&A, my favorite portion. I'm going to relay some questions. Some may be geared towards just me. There may be one that's geared just towards you. Overall, we'll try and answer both of them.
Right.
First question. How do you think Eli Manning will do with the West Coast offense that is going to be implemented with their new offensive coordinator, Ben McAdoo, this year? Ben McAdoo was the Green Bay Packers quarterback's coach until he was hired as the Giants offensive coordinator. He was a hot commodity on the market for OC. Miami was interested in him, Washington was, and so was Cleveland as the head coach.
Now he's in New York.
And it's a big change from what they had in Kevin Killdrive.
No,
Kevin Killdrive, because that's really a run and gun offense. It's a very old style offense. Amazingly enough, it worked very well for the Giants. I mean, they won 2 Super Bowls. I don't care how many times they missed the playoffs. You won more Super Bowls than any other team in the last 10.
You won more Super Bowls than fucking Broncos did in the last 20 years.
Exactly. So say whatever you will. Eli liked the system. I don't know how he's going to be in a West Coast system. He's a very heavy-footed quarterback. He doesn't move well in the pocket, and the West Coast system is a lot about shuffling a little bit through the pocket. The offensive line has to be extremely agile, which they have more a power-style offensive line, but there's going to be a lot of turnover on the line as well.
Immediately when I think West Coast style offense, I immediately think Bill Walsh, Joe Montana. That's where it all started, or Don Shula, or whoever the fuck.
Bill Walsh.
Bill Walsh.
Yeah.
But again, Eli just can't. He doesn't know how to move. Like the guy just can't. You think a Manning would be able to step up in the pocket, no problem, and literally just heave it downfield. He can't do that.
I do also. I'm in the camp that believes he had some kind of injury because his throws look flat this past year. Usually he's got a cannon.
It wasn't good. The guy can fucking swing it though.
And so the West Coast system, it'll be interesting because their wide receivers are made more for a West Coast system. They're small slot guys. The West Coast system is dictated on getting your guy in open space and letting him move, which is what Victor Cruz would be good at. Ruben Randall will be really good at.
That's what I was going to say.
Janelle Jernigan. And then they got to obviously draft someone as well. And they need a tight end. I'm not crazy about it because I just don't like the idea of that line and that style. Well, Coughlin's still going to be calling the plays. That's the thing people don't get. He's an offensive-minded coach. He's going to still decide to run that trap draw 90 times a game from the shotgun.
Yeah, with a 6'4" fucking running back.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how do I feel about the signing? I give it a 5. I like the fact they changed what they were used to. They're going away from their old conservative style, but I don't know if it was the right idea. I think they would have been better off with a Gary Kubiak or even a Norv Turner type. Personally,
yeah, I mean you're not wrong. It's the Giants for the longest time have always been if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of deal.
And now they're
and it's won them 2 Super Bowls, but it's time to move on.
But for a guy like Coughlin, who's always been so loyal, maybe this is moving on for him and trying something different. So it's a lot of wait and see. So I won't be too hard on it, but I'm not going to be nice on it. A 5, I think, is fair.
Yeah, that's not.
Now, since the halftime show was the best part of the Super Bowl and Flea wasn't even plugged in, was there really a highlight? Listen, they recorded before they played, and Flea. I don't know if you saw the whole statement. He was very honest about it. He goes, "They told us we couldn't," but Anthony Kiedis was actually singing. Flea was up there. He was playing exactly what he recorded, as was the guitarist. Chad Smith was still playing drums.
Listen, I give the Red Hot Chili Peppers a lot of credit here by not fooling you.
Yeah, they were honest.
They easily could have plugged in and then not said a fucking word.
Instead, we had to deal with black Michael Jackson. Black Michael Jackson, Justin Timberlake, Bruno Mars singing fruity-ass love songs at the halftime. At that halftime show, besides Give It Away, which I love the song, but goddamn, they have like 100 great songs, and you're going to make them keep playing the same one.
Just Give It Away.
I know.
What was that, like their original record?
No, that was their like third. That was off Blood Sugar Sex Magic, but
that's what
I love the Chili Peppers, so I'm not going to say anything bad about them. Next question. Marshawn Lynch in the media. Your thoughts on how he handles himself? Someone asked me this last week, and I think it's I think that he should handle it better because it is in his contract. Motherfucker's getting paid $10 million a year, and it says you have to speak to the media. And those guys have a job to do too. Some of the media are assholes, they're parasites, they're shitheads. I get that. If I was in the media trying to make my way up, I'd be an asshole, a parasite, and a shithead more than I am already. But they have a job to do too, and you go out there for 6-7 minutes to do the bare minimum, and then he was supposed to be booked on. He was booked on the Jimmy Fallon show and couldn't make it. Make up your mind, dude. Don't do the media when it makes sense for you. It is in your contract. You have an obligation to promote your team, to promote your game, to promote the league, and promote yourself too.
Now I'm gonna play devil's advocate here, but I'm gonna honestly sit there and tell you that I fucking love the way he does it because again, you described it straight up as is. The media are nothing but a bunch of parasites that could take nothing and turn it into something.
Oh yeah, look at the whole Richie Incognito, Jonathan Martin thing.
Which by the way, if you didn't read the text messages, do yourself a favor and
Richie.
read it.
Richie Incognito's in the clear, in my opinion.
150%.
But you're saying that the way they act towards him, he has the right to do that.
I think he's played so well throughout his career, except for like that 2-year dip in Buffalo, and that he's really come into his own so much that. I love the fact that he doesn't want to talk about it. He just wants to play. It's all about that.
And I get that too. And I do like that he's not like a dick to them and he isn't rude to them and everything. But you do have an obligation. You sign a contract, and it's in your contract that you have to do this. And don't decide after you sign the contract and get your tens of millions that you don't want to do it anymore.
Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that him canceling on Kimmel.
Fallon or Kim. It was one of the two.
I found at the last second wasn't a dick move, but again,
you know why it happened. His agent told him like you're getting destroyed in the media. If you go do this talk show now, you're going to look even worse, and he would have. Yeah. You can't go do that, man. You can't say I don't want to talk to the media. Oh, and now I want to talk to the media.
Well, I mean, and also if you look at it, like from his media day thing, he did the bare minimum, which was fine,
and then he had that interview with Dion, which was phenomenal.
With Dion, which is
about that action
boss. And I love the guy. I love the guy's mentality and his attitude.
I like that he's respectful, he gets it. I just wish that I do think that he does have an obligation, unless he has some kind of contract thing in his contract that says he doesn't have to meet with the media. Ricky Williams hated talk with the media. He hated being surrounded. He wore his helmet when he did the interview.
I remember. So did LT. Did
exactly.
Too for a while.
So that's how I think it should be.
Yeah.
Next question. Who would win in the octagon, Peyton Manning or Eli Manning?
You know who honestly, I'm going to pick Peyton.
I got to go Eli. The neck.
What
Eli puts him in a guillotine.
What does that mean?
He's going to snap his neck.
Dude, fucking Eli's cross-eyed. You can't see shit.
I know, but that's the other thing. Eli's a lot dumber. He's going to get hit and not know the difference.
Well, dude, all he does is get hit anyway, but I'm telling you right now, if Peyton gets one crack at this kid, that's
You know who Eli is? Eli's Brick Tamlin from Anchorman. He's going to be the guy that has an arrow in his side and doesn't realize it and just keep coming forward. So I got to go Eli here just based on sheer stupidity.
He's going to take a fucking arrow to the knee.
He's going to take an arrow. And he's just going to be sitting there. Like, Peyton could stab him 20 times, and he'll keep coming forward like the Terminator. So I got to go Eli here. Youth, no neck injury, and a stronger arm.
I'm going to go Peyton Manning just because he's...
and you're biased.
All
right, this one's for me. Why are you allowed to drive... why are you allowed to have a driver's license if you're legally blind without your glasses?
This is actually a really good question. I'm very interested to hear what you have to say about this.
I mean, legally it says on my license that I have to wear my glasses to drive. But I'll tell you something funny. And my mom, when she hears it, she won't appreciate it. But sometimes at night, I like driving without my glasses just to see how long I can go before I hit something or scare whoever's in the car with me. I'll just take them off for the night. Look at me like, you like this? It'll be like 2 o'clock at night, be snowy conditions or rainy conditions, and I'll be like, I can't see anything.
Especially where you live, no shot.
I know. So I'm legally not allowed to drive without my glasses, but I do like to try it sometimes just to see how long until I hit a small animal or a child.
To really fuck with them, you should turn your headlights off all the way at simultaneously.
No, that'd be really bad.
That's what I'm saying. Like you gotta do it good. Come
on. Did the Red Hot Chili Peppers show their nipples in the Super Bowl in support of Janet Jackson?
No shot. Dude,
absolutely.
Are you kidding me? How long have we been
think about
we've been watching the Red Hot Chili Peppers live and they've been wearing no shirts?
No, they were wearing nothing but tube socks. But listen, that was their first time doing the Super Bowl. They were wearing no shirts when they were younger. Now they're like Janet Jackson titty age. So now it was in Pierce.
No shot.
They were so totally supporting her old wrinkly black titty and Justin Timberlake. So I'm so for. I wish they wore the tube socks. That would have been my thing. All right,
you want to see their dong, dude?
I do. Here's a subject that I actually think is pretty interesting. A lot of people have been talking about. Person says, few of my friends believe the Super Bowl was fixed. What do you guys think? Get the fuck out of here.
Dude, there's no shot. Because I read an article where literally at the end of the game, Peyton Manning runs up to Pete Carroll and goes, "When are you going to pay up?" First of all, if Peyton Manning hasn't made enough money just from his fucking Papa John's commercials,
shame on him.
Dude, you're a big dumb idiot. Your forehead demonstrates the size of your brain, which is not that.
His forehead's huge, but it's not as big as the brain should be. But every time there's a Super Bowl and it's an upset or something happens, it's fixed. No, it's not fixed.
Be.
Okay, is there the entire possibility it's fixed? Absolutely. Is it possible the refs could have been in on something to change the points? Absolutely. Would Peyton Manning, single-handedly the most competitive player that I think in NFL history, would he throw a game for a few extra million unless he is somehow deeply involved with organized crime? No, the game wasn't fixed. The Broncos just laid a dud and the Seahawks painted a fucking masterpiece. It's as simple as that. If you think it's fixed, I want you to do me a favor. If you think it's fixed, I want you to send me a private message on Facebook. I will give you my personal address. I will tell you what time to come. And then I'm going to come outside. I'm going to break both of your kneecaps with a bat. And then I'm going to brick in your mouth and piss in your hair. Because you are an asshole. It's as simple as that. No way that game was fixed.
No shot.
All right. Who wins in a table tennis match with Hulk Hogan and Danica Patrick?
Danica Patrick.
I'm gonna have to go with the Hulkster here.
Yeah, because it's 24-inch python.
Well, first off, he's got bigger titties than her,
yeah,
so pure gravity is gonna be helping him in inertia and science. He's got the power of the Hulkamaniacs on his side, and he knows how to win in the big match. What has Danica Patrick ever won?
Never.
No, she's never won anything.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna quote my guy. What's his name? Daniel Tosh. She looks so great with her hair blowing in the wind while she's in last place.
Exactly. All right, so this one's a little tough right now because there's still so many things out there, but what offseason NFL moves can you see happening? One of the big rumors was Larry Fitzgerald getting traded. He just restructured. He's never leaving. He is the best player that franchise has ever had. I could see a guy like Aqib Talib leaving in free agency. There's a number of people that could be traded. You don't know what's going to happen with Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. I'm not sure about Brent Grimes in Miami personally.
That sucks.
But I think I think they're not going to let him leave. They'll franchise tag him if they have to.
I see.
You just saw Asante Samuel get released.
Got cut.
He's not as good as he used to be, but he'll be valuable to some team.
You know what I'm looking out for, and call me crazy, but I think Chris Johnson might be on the chopping block.
No, he's gone. There's no
gone?
He's a goner, dude. The new Wisenhunt doesn't like his style of running. Wisenhunt doesn't like his attitude. He is getting way too much money for being a very average back. Now, to his credit, he supposedly was playing. He had a 1,000-yard season, like 1,060 yards, and he played with a torn meniscus since week 3. So I gotta give him some props because I've always questioned his toughness and his commitment to the team. But I also think he has a very bad attitude. And Delaney Walker, their tight end, was hinting at some of the players just rolled over halfway through the season. Chris Johnson's a goner. He'll be one of the top free agents out there.
I guess there's not else I can really think of.
I think the Jets will they'll obviously be releasing Santonio Holmes, Mark Sanchez, and Antonio Cromartie is the other one that looks like they're going to be releasing. Cromartie would be very valuable to some team, even though he didn't have as good a year this past year.
But I will be honest. I mean, he stepped up in Darrelle Reeves. Again, there's no Darrelle Reeves.
Last year he did. This year he was one of the worst in the league.
He was okay.
He finished 80th in the league in corners.
Whatever, it is what it is.
But no, he's definitely still valuable to another team.
Yeah.
I don't think he can be that number one consistently, but if you put him opposite a solid corner, he's still very valuable.
I could definitely see him going to like an Arizona or something like that. Possibly.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
But that defense is already nasty. Put him opposite Patrick Peterson.
And then fucking thank you, Tyrann Mathieu, for proving everyone wrong.
Well, he just has to come back from injury.
He'll be all right.
All right, next question. This is for you, Taylor.
Oh, great.
If you met John Elway and asked you to blow him, would you do it?
No, I wouldn't fucking do it.
Don't lie.
I wouldn't fucking do it.
I can picture that horse face semen in your beard.
What?
And you enjoying it.
Why the fuck would I blow a guy?
Because you like it?
With my mouth?
You like it?
No.
All right.
No.
So the answer is no. I say yes.
Question, no,
and I'm going to pitch that movie to Brazzers.
No, fuck the movie. Listen, you want to pitch a movie? Magic Micah, the sequel to Magic Mike.
Magic Micah, I like it. Now, okay, this is a question. You didn't see the fight, but regarding the Henan Barrow and Uriah Faber fight, what is your opinion on what it means to intelligently defend yourself? And an opinion on the Herb Dean stoppage. Was Uriah Faber doing the right thing, or should he have done more? In my opinion, and you didn't see the fight, but in my opinion, intelligently defending yourself is, making a means to get yourself out of a position where you're getting beat up. Even if the punches aren't landing hard, if you're just sitting there taking them, that's not intelligently defending yourself. That's maybe protecting yourself, but a defense to me means that you're trying to improve the position you're in. You're trying to stop something from happening.
Instead of being in full mount, you're trying to go to half guard.
This is the scenario he was in. Faber got dropped 2-3 times before, and he was holding on to Barrow's leg, and Barrow was just pounding the side of his head, and he wasn't out by any means, and he gave a thumbs up on the opposite side. The ref couldn't see it, but he was just holding on the leg, and Barrow must have landed like 12 punches, little punches at the side of his head, but Herb Dean stopped it. Uriah got right up. I'm fine. But to me, that was not intelligently defending yourself. Faber's he's one of the toughest guys in the sport, but a ref's job is to protect the fighter. He doesn't know, he can't see the thumbs up behind the leg. He's got a tough job to do. And when you consider that the first punch that dropped Faber, he was out cold, and he happened to wake up pretty quick. He had great recovery time. But the ref, he got knocked out 3 times before. It can't be good for his long-term health. So, my opinion is, as far as intelligently defending yourself, is not just blocking punches, but making a means to get out of that position, which Faber wasn't doing. He was just holding on.
Sure.
What's the best kind of indoor tanning lotion?
I don't fucking know. Does it look like I fucking tan?
Dude,
I'm fat, overweight, smoke a pack of cigarettes a day, and I go fucking tanning? No.
Here's the thing. I'm like 70% Italian. I'm white as a ghost, but if I go out in the sun, I tan and I burn for one day and then I'm tan. I choose not to. I don't even know what it means to indoor tan. What does that mean?
Apparently,
is that like the bronzer?
You go to like these places with beds and UV lights.
Oh,
and shit.
the cancer beds.
Yes, those fucking things.
I love cancer.
Dude, do you remember what was that? Final Destination. What was it?
Okay, yeah. One of them was okay.
She gets fucking
I thought it was just like he says indoor tanning lotion. I'm just picturing someone just
someone
pouring things on their nipples and watching and like Buffalo Billing in the mirror. Yeah, that's what I'm picturing. So get back to me on that one. I'm going to do some research on that one. So ask me that question again next week.
Sounds good.
All right. This is one I think both of us can answer.
No.
Detailed account of the ugliest female you ever penetrated, beginning to end. Ideally, this will take up 90% of the podcast. Well, if you know me, I don't need no 90%. I don't even need 90 seconds. Plenty of women can account to this. I'm not giving names. I'm not even going to tell you where it happened, but all I could tell you is I have never told anyone who this female was. I doubt this female wants anyone to know who I am because I was such a dick to her after. I was pretty drunk, and it was at a party. I'm not saying whose party. And this girl was like, she's cool.
You mean more fucking vague?
Yes, I can be. She was very. I could start saying he and really throw you a curveball, but I'm not gay like you. And
Fuck you.
So me and this girl were talking. She was really cool. She probably had a good 30 pounds on me. I was like 170. She's about 200, and she, we were hanging out, and I was sitting there drunk, and I was like, I'm not getting with anyone else tonight. I'm doing this. Yeah, and she was down. And then as soon as I was down, I was like, this was a mistake because it was a mess, dude. Like, literally, it felt like, I try not to be too graphic here, but like, when I reached down there, I felt like, like I said, the girl had 30 pounds on me. So I went down there and I felt like I went to like raw chop meat and I like just put my hand in it. But moldy,
moldy,
yeah, like old, like rotten, and I was just like,
I know what the fuck it means.
I was like, I felt like in the perfect storm when they're just sailing into the storm. I just see the clouds in the horizon, and I'm like, where is this going? And then we start doing it, and then once again, a perfect storm reference. I'm trying to go over the big. Go, you son of a bitch! Yeah. I'm just like, I need to go. So I'm just like trying to picture like anything in my head but her, and then I open my eyes and I'm like, fuck my life. Thank God I double bagged. I'll say that much. But yeah, it was bad. I like I said, I usually last about 90 seconds. I was so disgusted with her, myself. It was horrible. I lasted like 2.5 minutes.
Listen, I'm going to be honest, and I'm not trying to sound like too fucking egotistical. The ugliest chick I've banged, honestly, was like, dude, what the fuck, dude? I was like 17, and she was like,
okay,
5 feet tall or whatever. Like it was nothing crazy. It was like she was not bad looking girl. Just I've had better looking chicks before. It's just I'm happy where I'm at.
Yeah.
I have a girlfriend. She's awesome. Sam, you're awesome.
She's better than you.
Yeah, in many ways.
She's better than her brother.
But I mean, that goes without saying.
Just kidding, Josh.
No, fuck you.
So yeah, I mean, there's plenty of others I'm probably not proud of. And there's plenty of others where I thought I was getting myself into a good situation, but that's for another time. We could dedicate a whole show to things like that. And I guarantee you, if you got all the women I've been with and you put them in a room and they came up with stories about me, they didn't call me 2-liter Dan in high school for a reason. I'm not packing much heat. All right, next question is it's more of a comment. Have you heard about this George Zimmerman DMX boxing match?
It's the dumbest shit in the
world. All right, who's going to win? Dude, George Zimmerman was getting beat up by a friggin' teenager. I don't care how big the teenager was. Motherfucker, you are a grown-ass man, and you supposedly train martial arts, and you're getting beat by some little kid.
Dude, some punk who had a pack of Skittles in his fucking pocket.
Listen, I'm not even going to get into my opinions on the case because I'm not talking politics and race and everything.
We'll be here for
DMX,
hours.
he's old, he's a drunk, he's probably a crackhead, and he's a little guy, but he's like a straight up thug. He's gonna kill him. Dude, apparently they're gonna wear headgear. It's gonna be like a friendly.
First of all, a serious question: why the fuck out of all the two people in the world, why is it DMX and fucking George Zimmerman?
Because he didn't want to box game. The game wanted to do it, and he didn't want no part of the game. Game would have killed him.
The game would have knocked him out.
So, and the other question was the phony racial implications behind it. Well, I don't know if they're phony because the thing is, the people that hate George Zimmerman are the ones that are going to pay for this and give him the money that they don't want to give him by giving him this kind of attention. The best thing you could do for a guy like this, who is obviously in such dire needs that he needs to start doing things like this, is ignore the motherfucker. You know, no matter your opinion on it, he's a fucking moron. You know, no matter what he did, guilty, not guilty, he's a fucking idiot. Like, what you're and the people that call this guy a celebrity, what is he a celebrity for?
How is he a celebrity?
That's my point. Sense. So DMX is gonna kill him, but it's gonna be boring. I'm not even gonna waste my time. I'll wait for a gif to come up of them both swinging at the air and huffing and puffing. All right. Next thing is going back to the whole CM Punk discussion, the real or fake thing. If it's real, if it's fake, it's pro wrestling. How real is it is the question. My old thing is they kind of did this angle with CM Punk already. They had the thing where he was leaving. He was going to go back to Ring of Honor. He was going to go to New Japan Pro Wrestling. He dropped the whole pipe bomb about it. Why would they do the same angle again?
Well, here's and I don't follow wrestling nearly as close as you, Josh, that faggot Colucci. But what I'm getting at is, again, they did the angle once. Why would you do it again? Too. I'm reading all over Jason David Frank, a.k.a. Tommy.
Yeah, the guy
Tommy
from the
Oliver,
Power Rangers is challenging him to an MMA fight. Brazzers is asking him to do porn. This is it. This is real. This is very, very real.
It's definitely real.
What the reasons are, you know, they're all over there. They're saying that he's not happy with the direction. Some people are just saying he's burnt out physically. He was probably done in July anyway. But the WWE is taking CM Punk signs from fans at shows. They wouldn't be doing that unless it was legit.
I'll say it was the same thing. Whenever something happens in the WWE with a wrestler, current or active or past, and something bad goes down. Again, this is different scenario, but when Chris Benoit killed his son and wife, again, everything was taken down. Everything was stripped. Everything Chris Benoit ever did was taken down.
They can hide anything. I mean, like I said, different circumstances, but another example was the Owen Hart death. That pay-per-view has never been anywhere since it happened.
No.
Until now, the WWE Network is coming out, and they're actually going to air that pay-per-view.
I
hope I can find that, because I'm making a goddamn Mentos video on Owen Hart's death.
I mean, like, how much is it a month? Because I'm
$10. I'm $60 up front, but $10 a month.
I'll fucking do it.
All right. Next question is, do you think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers can have a winning season next year? Yeah, absolutely. They have a lot of talent.
I'm saying all it takes is a coach. Greg Schiano's a dick. Lovie Smith comes in.
Lovie Smith got fired after 10-6. He's especially a great defensive mind. You're going to see Darrelle Revis was one of the top 5 corners in the game last year, and he's going to be even better this year in that Tampa 2 he runs.
I really think he's going to put a leash on Deshaun Goldston and really have him playing like he played when he was in San Francisco.
And you're going to see that defense is going to end up being suffocating. Now, the thing you have to worry about is Mike Glennon ready to step up. Is Doug Martin going to bounce back, which I think he will. How much more could you get out of Vincent Jackson? What are you going to do about Mike Williams, who had a nice career, but now he's got all kinds of mental kit. He's going crazy and partying too much.
I'm telling you, I think that team this season, or this upcoming season anyway, I'm looking at 500 to 9-7.
I could see anything. That. They could definitely have a winning season, but the thing is, it's such a tough division. The Panthers are on the uprise. You can't expect the Falcons to be as bad as they were last year. The Saints are obviously going to always be there with Breeze and Peyton. That's an awesome division.
That's the best division in football.
I still might give the NFC West the edge. They had a better record last year. The Rams have a great coaching staff, and they're on the uprise.
Jeff Fisher.
The Cardinals are on the uprise, and they have an awesome defense. And think about what the Cardinals did with questionable quarterback play. So I still give the edge to the NFC West, but that NFC South is a real tough division.
I'm telling you, I think Mark Lennon will step up, and I really think Mike, fuck Mark, piece of shit. Well, what I'm getting at, he's going to be the Brad Johnson. He's going to be.
You better hope he's better than that, because you got to be better to beat Cam.
No, I'm saying he's going to have to be okay, and that defense is going to carry him for right now.
Okay.
For right now.
Next question. I don't know enough about hockey.
Okay.
Do you think the New York Rangers will trade Ryan Callahan?
Okay. This is probably for Colucci.
No, he didn't even ask it. Another friend of mine did.
Regardless, anyone who...
Colucci sent me a message explaining it, but I did what I do with most messages and delete them. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I mean, anyway, I think the Rangers would be dumb to trade Ryan Callahan. He's the heart and soul of the Rangers team. They've had some really awful signings the last couple of years. Stuff that really hasn't panned out for them. I mean, they have Rick Nash. Rick Nash is a fantastic forward, and he could really play both ends of the ice really, really well. From blue line to blue line, there's no better skater in the NHL than Rick Nash. But when it comes down to it, no matter how good of players you have, if there's no direction, they're not going to play well. And the only way they get there is if they keep Ryan Callahan at the helm. And
he's their captain too, right?
He's the captain.
Don't trade your captain.
He's the captain of the team. Not to regardless if you don't trade him, you'd be dumb to trade him. Not to mention his contract's coming up, I believe. Pay this man. This is someone you need in your organization in order to keep going straight forward. That's just me.
Okay. And you're a Devils fan, so that's an interesting perspective.
Yeah, what the fuck?
All right. Next question is, will Dumb and Dumber 2 be a letdown? Obviously, it's the original now is almost 20. It is 20 years old. 93 came out? 93? Yeah. I don't know. It's tough. The original is one of my favorite comedies. The Farrelly Brothers' first few efforts were amazing. Between that, There's Something About Mary, Kingpin was phenomenal. Even the ones they produced, Me, Myself, and Irene, was hilarious.
That was really fun.
But they've had some really bad ones too. You had that awful one with Greg Kinnear and Matt Damon. Stuck on You was terrible. The Three Stooges. They've been swinging and missing a lot. Now the thing that gives me hope is that they didn't rush out a sequel like you see so many comedies do, where they have a sequel to it in 2 years, like The Hangover.
That was the worst.
And they just make the same movie. So I'm hoping they could do something here, because I love Jeff Daniels, I love Jim Carrey.
I was going to say Jeff Daniels is probably one of my favorite actors.
He's a great actor, and he's a very good comedic actor, which he doesn't get a lot of credit for, despite Dumb and Dumber being one of, like I said,
one of the funniest movies.
That's one of my favorite comedies. So I don't think it'll be a letdown, but the directors kind of worry me, because since those first three they had, Dumb and Dumber, There's Something About Mary, and Kingpin, which Kingpin's probably their most underrated.
Bill Murray, right?
Bill Murray, Woody Harrelson, that's phenomenal. So I don't think it'll be a letdown. I'm excited for it personally. Yeah. Next question. This is one you can relate to. Do I think the New England Patriots will pick up Eric Decker? No. I'm going to say, originally I was like, oh, he might be able to go there. I was actually taking a look at team's cap room coming into the season. They're actually $300,000 over the cap right now, the New England Patriots. If they're spending...
With fucking no one.
This is what happens when you have a high-paid quarterback, dude. If you look at it, Seattle Seahawks, what makes their team so nasty, having all those players... How much are they paying their quarterback?
Russell Wilson's getting $600,000.
No, it's $825,000. Their highest paid quarterback is Tavares Jackson at $875,000. They don't have a lot of money committed to that quarterback position, so they can spend in other areas. They were able to go out and get quality pass rushers in Cliff Averill and Michael Bennett. Those are the two of the high positions you're going to pay the most generally.
And you got them on basically like 1 year deals, and then exactly them.
Exactly. So that's what makes the team like Seattle so good, and you're seeing. These teams that give these contracts to these quarterbacks, they're struggling the season after. You saw it with Matt Ryan. You saw it with Joe Flacco. It's becoming a common trend. I mean, it's probably going to happen with Jay Cutler, because what's going to happen now, they have Cutler for 7 years. If Alshon Jeffrey keeps going at the pace he's going, they're not going to be able to keep him and Brandon Marshall.
He's going to want to get paid, and then they're going to have to pick. Instead of having to have both, they're going to have to pick between Brandon Marshall, who's a proven veteran, but he's not going to stick around that much longer, and Alshon Jeffrey, who's the second year in the league.
The younger or older one. Yeah. And then you look at the teams that have these young stud wide receivers. They're not paying them that much. Like, how much are the Browns paying Josh Gordon? They get a quarterback. He put up numbers with no quarterback.
Josh Gordon. The first week he was back playing for the Browns, he paid them $125,000.
Exactly. And it's so The Patriots, they're not, and it's not their, even if they had the money, it's not their style to go spend money on big money free agents. People are like, oh, well, they got Randy Moss. Randy Moss was considered like a swing in the dark.
Randy Moss, up until that point, they thought his career was over. In Oakland.
Exactly.
And literally, again, all credit to Bill Belichick, just finding it. How could you call Randy Moss a diamond in the rough? Though?
Exactly. So, but that's the thing. It wasn't like the top free agent on the market. A lot of people thought if he didn't go to the Patriots, he wouldn't have gone anywhere. Yeah. So it's not their style. They pick up guys when they're towards the end or they need to be worked out. They tried it with Ocho Cinco. They tried it with Albert Haynesworth. Tried it with Joey Galloway, and they haven't been doing well with it. Now Decker is a younger commodity. He doesn't have any of these issues. He is a little friendly with the media, and he has a reality show. That is not Belichick's style either.
No shot.
So
I was going to say, if he didn't like Wes Welker going at Rex Ryan about the whole feet thing, which is
he's not going to like,
he's not going to like Eric Decker with a reality TV show. No shot.
Exactly. So I think, honestly, I thought that if the Broncos won, there was a better chance of him leaving, but I think the way it ended, he might take, not a crazy discount. I think he's going to take a little less.
He'll take a solid discount.
I think he'll take some to stay in Denver.
Because
he won't go to the Jets. He will not play with, you don't want to go from Peyton Manning to Geno Smith. You don't mind going to Matt Ryan. You don't mind going to Mike Glennon.
Listen, I'm talking about my number 2 wide receiver on my team, and I think for whatever reason I have this stupid hunch that he's going to go play for the Jets.
I think the Jets are going to offer him crazy money, and he's going to realize. I think he's going to see Geno throw. He's like, this nigga can't play, and so I think that you don't want to go from Peyton Manning to somebody unless you're just about the money, and Decker doesn't give me that impression.
See, that's the thing. Me too. Demarius Thomas doesn't give me that impression. Decker, for whatever reason, if he's got a reality TV show, he's in it for the money.
But that means he has the money.
That doesn't. You can always make more.
I don't know. It could be, but no, he's not going to the Patriots.
That's yes.
All right.
No shot.
Will the Mets make some noise this season, or will they continue to be the Yankees' whipping boy? That's a funny thing. How can they be considered the Yankees whipping boy when they swept them last year?
Yeah.
If I sweep a team, you didn't whip on me. I was the worst. I was worse than you, and we still beat you 4 times, including 2 games in Yankee Stadium when Dylan G, who had an ERA of 7 at that point, gave up 1 run over 7 innings and struck out 13, looking like goddamn, what's his name, Clayton Kershaw. He looked like Matt Harvey, for Christ's sake. Yeah. And you're going to tell me we were your whipping boy? Sure, in years past we were your whipping boy. This year, no, the Mets aren't going to make noise when your top free agent signing is Curtis Granderson, who I like Curtis Granderson, and the Yankees' top signing, it wasn't just Carlos Beltran, it wasn't just Brian McCann, it wasn't just Jacoby Ellsbury. They got Tanaka. I'm not even going to entertain that one, because prove it to me against real hitters and not 5'8" little fucking nips that hit it over a 200-foot wall and they play with friggin' baseballs that are shaped differently.
Dan Perosi, ladies and gentlemen, keep going.
So, will we be the Yankees whipping boy? No. Will we surprise people somewhat? Sure. They have a very good pitching staff. I like the Bartolo Colon signing, but we're not going to be the Yankees whipping boy. The Yankees still have they need a lot of things to go right to even make the playoffs. They still play in a division with the defending World Series champion. They still play in a division with the Tampa Bay Rays, who they can't beat when they're bad. They still play in a division with a young Baltimore Orioles team. And they still play on an underachieving Blue Jays team, who you hope, if you're a Yankees fan, they don't click. So don't tell me you're going to whip on me when I whipped on you last year, motherfucker, with a fucking team that was pretty much David Wright and Daniel Murphy. We had an asshole at first base, Ike Davis, who friggin' batted like 180 all year, and we beat you 4 games? Come on, get the fuck out of here with that. But yeah, the Mets are going to suck.
You're mad.
All right.
Good for you.
Are you considering a move to paid subscription services on your podcast, which may include VIP bonuses such as personal, autographed nude 8x10s?
Well, this is only the second time I've even sat in, and I'm not going to say I'm a part of it. But here's what I'm going to say is, you don't want my nude. I don't want my nude.
I've seen him half naked.
You don't want his nude.
You want my nude.
I've fucking seen it. And it's
what have you seen?
I'm at a Jimmy Eat World concert, and I Snapchat him a picture of the stage. Jimmy Eat World killing it. I instantly get a picture of his shaft, the top of the shaft, nothing else. Just killing it. Now I'm in a crowded room full of people. At least 4 people saw his dick.
So you've seen my dick and my butthole.
It's the worst, dude.
My dick and my butthole.
Oh my god.
Well, I have friends whose grandparents have seen me naked. We're not bringing that up.
No. Let's not talk about that.
If you PayPal me $250, I will autograph you a picture of myself nude.
$2.50
eating a stick of butter.
$2.50 or
$2.50. $2.50.
No, tray footer. How about tray footer?
All right. So last question is it true you were sexually attracted to Rikishi, the thong-wearing fat-ass WWE wrestler? And is it also true you wish he gave you a stink face? Please respond in full detail about your feelings for him, how sexually aroused you would be if he were to do said move to you.
Before you answer, I just want to say I feel like you would get more aroused if fucking X-Pac hit you with the Bronco Buster than Rikishi hit you with the stink face.
Here's the thing: it's the fact that he was wearing a thong with his nasty cellulite ass that I enjoyed so much because it looked especially disgusting.
He was fucking dancing in Too Cool.
Okay, so let me tell you this: I was a big fan of Rikishi and Too Cool. They were a very entertaining tag team. I met Rikishi at a convention back in October, and I was saying to my friend Jared the whole time, I was like, "Man, I hope he's wearing the thong. I hope he's wearing the thong."
Wait, your friend Jared, isn't he the black one?
He is the black one.
All right, just making sure.
Just so you know who he is. You've met him. And I was saying the whole time, like, dude, I want to meet Rikishi, and I hope he's wearing the thong. I'm going to tell him to give me a stink face. He wasn't wearing the thong. He looked fatter than I'd ever seen him. And I was very disappointed. So I was a big fan. I would have liked a stink face back when I was younger, but my view on him was a bit, no pun intended, tainted when I met him. And he did come back to Raw recently for Old School Raw, and he didn't do a stink face, which really upset me. But man, that must have been a brutal move to have done to you, because I don't care if that dude just showered. As soon as he got out of the shower, he was breaking his sweat and squirting out of the back of his ass.
Like that, and also remember when what was it, fucking Shawn Michaels that threw what was it that threw Vince McMahon's face in Big Show's ass?
Oh, yeah. That's the Vince McMahon Kiss My Ass Club. Everyone had to kiss Vince's ass.
Yeah, no, but he was in his ass.
I know, all up in that ass. But yeah, no, I'm not too turned on by Rikishi. You get me Mark Henry, the sexual chocolate, or even Mabel, Viscera. That's a good one.
Viscera? Do you want to die?
No, yeah, you're right. He's black.
All
right, so that's the end of the questions. It's the end of the podcast. This was episode 7, like I said. Taylor, thank you for sitting in with me again. I hope you make it through this stage of your life alive.
Listen, I'll be good. I'm not a Cowboys fan. I'm not suicidal.
Sure, you're not a Dolphins fan. I'm suicidal.
That's not that bad. You guys be all right. But anyway, signing off. My name's Taylor. You'll be hearing from me a lot more.
He'll be on again.
Sitting in with this guy right
and once again, thank you for listening. Please send any questions, comments to me, Taylor. Share it around. Listen to it. Obviously, listen to it if you heard this part, so I'm a fucking jerk off. Thank you. See you guys probably next week.
Peace.